you see this as part of an interaction that you're in, either at work or at home, and it means, I'll show you first, it's the jaw shifting, and it can be mouth slightly open as mine was initially, or mouth closed. When that jaw shifts, it means the person doesn't like what they've just seen or heard.
So to those of you that's still in denial and refuse to accept that we are in the middle of a global awakening, listen to this Nigerian pastor.
It's only stupid person that they tell you that Holy Spirit wrote Bible and you believe. You are mad. Everything that we are killing ourselves with in Africa is here. Hell, heaven is here in this Bible. It is in this Bible that you are going to read something that says, freely you receive, freely you do what? No one wants to lie again. That lie of freely you give, freely you receive, it has expired. The person that wrote this Bible tells you that it will be impossible for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. He said it will be easy for a camel to pass through the needle, eye of the needle, than for a rich man to enter there. But Zondervan Publishing Company, the ones that publish this Bible, they are the richest publishing company on earth. They are rich, but the rich will not go to heaven. The person that wrote this and interpreted this has come to Africa, in Congo, in Liberia, and stole our gold and diamond. England has the largest gold reserve on earth. Where did they get it? They stole from us. They didn't tell us sorry, but they say all these people that steal must go to hell. Finally, the person that wrote this told you that Jesus is coming very soon. You, as a black person that have never seen Jesus before, they tell you that prepare yourself, Jesus is on the way coming. They tell you sleep in the church every day, be praying, forget about buying houses, forget about building houses, forget about your children, focus on heaven. They wrote this thing and tell you that Jesus is coming very soon and his reward is in his hand. It's in this Bible. But the family of the king today know the person that will be the next king in the next 2,000 years. They are not preparing to go to heaven. They are preparing to be here in the next 2,000 years. They know who is going to be the king. It has already been arranged. It's only black person that is preparing for heaven. I can tell you today, go and interview 100 black men, African people. Ask them, what happens when you die? The first thing that will say, we want to make heaven. Their mind is on dying and going to heaven, not thinking about what their children they are leaving behind will inherit. They prepare themselves and prepare their children for many, many years to come. A black man is preparing himself to go to heaven, heaven at last. Ndara. The person that wrote this said the love of money. The love of what? Is what? Now, he finished writing this thing in their country and he bring it here in Africa. And he tells you the love of money, ego, is the root of all. Then you tell him, okay, give me the Bible. He said, okay, take, give me your money. The love of money. He sell this thing to you and get that root of evil from you. You read this thing and start planning for heaven. You need help. The reason why we are suffering in Africa, I always tell people, America Britain, Israel, they will never allow Africa to have peace. They are very stupid as leaders here in Africa. We are not wise. Haven't you heard that yesterday the Vice President of America was speaking to Tinubu? Tamara, am I lying? They will come to you and tell you, don't worry. You need 100 billion? Okay, come and take it. Because they know that you are going to bring it back to them. America, Westerners are using us for business. They are building their country, and the black people, we are preparing to go to heaven. The people that brought Bible to us are not ready to go to heaven. They are criminals. If you go to Israel today, they are killing innocent people. Israel is having one of the most dangerous weapons on earth. They will attack you with a gun. They don't pray. It's only in Africa a black man is the one that's called the God of Israel. When they come to Africa, Africa's like God of Abraham.
Hey y'all, I want to give you a barn check. We have 11,000 northern bobwhite quail in here. Watch this. I don't know why, but I just love doing that.
Oh, that's incredible, man. Oh my god. What is this guy, Mr. Scientist, cutting? Is this a giant metallic or stone cake or what's this? Ah! Oh my god, this is creepy. What's this guy cutting here?
你要它圈进去，它还没有圈进去。
网民，你软件。
等一下，
用软件来，用软件来，再出来出来。
慢点慢点。
好，哎我的妈！啊，
好了。
哎，多日。
啊。
Did you know that the Geneva Bible, which came out before the King James Version, which is one of the most historically significant translations of the Bible into English, and it predates the King James Version by 51 years, do you know that King James banned this Bible? Now, why is that? Y'all are not going to believe it. King James banned the Geneva Bible because it threatened his rule. Imagine if the President of the United States outlawed your version of the Bible because he considered it to be a threat to his rule. Imagine that he authorized a new government-approved version for you to read instead. That's exactly what happened in the tumultuous year of 1611. King James despised the Geneva Bible. He thought the Geneva Bible, setting notes on key politic texts, threatened his authority, so he outlawed it and ordered a new translation of the Bible. While the King James Version is an excellent translation, I beg to differ. It was edited and authorized by the government. Hence why the removal of the word governors when it's talking about fighting the darkness. The Geneva Bible was the people's Bible. The King James Version was the government's version. I've recently been doing a comparison between the Geneva and the King James Bible. And the Geneva Bible leads people to the Spirit, God's plan. But yet the King James Bible leads people into their ego state. So you have to really think about this. The reason why the Bible was this Geneva Bible was banned is because of the competition of authority. One of the main reasons King James disliked the Geneva Bible was because it challenged his pose to authority as a monarch. Because see, the Bible tells you that you're royalty. It tells you that you have the King of Kings within you. So King James rearranged it. This is why King James leads you through the ego path, because it removes the essence of spirit, which is the royalty that's within you. So you really think about that. Is the King James Bible all that you really need? Or has the King James Bible led you down the path of the shadow of the valley of death? Because it does not lead you to spirit, it leads you to ego. And it happened because King James did not like that it threatened his authority. Really think about that the next time you read the King James Version.
Oh my God, I've never heard of the Geneva Bible.
So the hidden books of the Bible contain so much information that it is almost impossible to ignore. In my last video, I told you about the real story of Adam and Eve that is found in the Apocrypha, or the books of the Bible that were taken out during a certain period of time where a certain religion wanted everyone to conform to one idea and belief of Christ. I'm not going to name that religion, but when this happened, they took out the most controversial and eye-opening books of the Bible, and I have been going through them with you, and as per request, I said I would do a part 2 to the real story of Adam and Eve. Also, let me just preference that I am sick as a dog. My household is sick, so that is why I look uncanny valley right now. So just sidebar that and let's get into it. So if you want to watch the previous video before I start with where I left off about the real story of Adam and Eve, just scroll right before this one on my page and you'll know where I'm starting from. So where I was at in the last video is that Adam and Eve actually in fact had more sons and more daughters than the Bible said that they did. They actually had 30 sons and 32 daughters. 2 of these twin sons, which everyone knows, are Cain and Abel, and everyone knows that Cain killed Abel. A lot of people don't know that they had another son named Seth that was given to Eve to replace Abel after he died. The scripture literally reads, "Here is your son Seth in place of Abel. Rejoice, God has given you another." Now, this is going to blow your mind because I know a lot of people reference something called the Nephilim. And if you are familiar with the Nephilim are giants. And in the book of Enoch, they are referenced as being born of fallen angels and humans. Because in the book of Enoch, which takes place before Genesis, actually fallen angels fell to earth and mated with humans and begot these giant, enormous things called Nephilims or giants. But we're going to get deeper than that, because not only did these giants come from the Nephilim, they also came from Cain and Seth. Mind you, this apocryphal book literally goes 130 years into the life of Adam and Eve after being expelled from the Garden of Eden. And then it digresses and goes into the life of Seth, which is their son, and he lived for 105 years. And Seth was said to have beget a son by the name of Enosh. And he has more sons that are referred to as the sons of God. And Cain has children too, except for Cain's daughters are called the daughters of men. And so the story goes that these daughters of men, Cain's daughters who were born of wickedness, were able to tempt the Sethites, which were Seth's gods of the sons. So in layman terms, Canaan's wicked daughters tempted God's angels off the mountains to come down to earth. Mind you, Cain's wicked daughters were called the Canaanites. The Sethites would be Seth's gods of the sons, or the sons of God. And so the Canaanites purposefully tempted the Sethites off the mountain down to the valley with the instigation of the Genun, who was the son of Lamech. Lo and behold, what did the Genun do? They created musical instruments, and they also invented war, as well as instruments of war. And so you have these Canaanites who were the descendants of Cain, who was a murderer because he killed his own brother Abel, and they were said to be extremely wicked, and they were murderous and even did incest. And after they seduced the Sethites, which were the sons of God, they created the Nephilim, or the mighty men that you hear talked about in Genesis 6. And then in the rest of these books, you have the destruction of Jerusalem and what they call a fight through the Titan. So if you have ever heard of the Nephilim or the Book of Enoch, it is the same. It just gives these fallen angels a specific name, and the humans that they mated with are a specific name, and it tells what happened before the Great Deluge. So how do you feel knowing that this real story of Adam and Eve, their sons and daughters, are the ones who corrupted mankind and caused the people, the fallen angels from heaven, to create the Nephilim? That's why these are stolen books of the Bible.
Oh my God! Oh, that's a creepy story.
Most people don't know that having low self-esteem is an indicator that you have a shame wound and that your nervous system is dysregulated. Because low self-esteem comes from shame. It comes from a feeling of I'm not good enough or there's something wrong with me. So these are the two core beliefs that tend to go with low self-worth and with a shame wound. The reason this shame wound comes about is because at some point in our life, usually in our childhood, our worth has been determined by some external factor, or we've been criticised, abused or neglected in some way. All of these foster shame and a sense of there's something wrong with me. We absorb this shame. It gets locked away into our subconscious because shame is a very difficult feeling to process, particularly if there's no one available at the time to help us process it. We're going to lock it away into our body and into our subconscious. And then beliefs are going to formulate around that, like there's something wrong with me or I'm not good enough. And then we're going to feel that as shame, we're going to feel that as low self-esteem and low self-worth. And this very much goes to the core of our identity. So we identify with these beliefs. Of course, they're not true, but we live as if they are. And we do really feel like, yes, there really is something fundamentally flawed with me. There really is something bad about me on some level. Until we start working through the shame, those beliefs are going to stay locked in place. So really healing the shame wound is the key to healing low self-esteem. We can't do this cognitively. We can't do this through thinking. I can't change how I feel by telling myself, yes, I am good enough and there's nothing wrong with me. It's helpful to hear that from yourself and from other people, but it's not necessarily going to change how you feel on that deep level. It's the shame wound that needs to be worked on, and the low self-esteem will go away all by itself.
Oh, much love to yourself, man.
This is going to completely blow your mind. Last time I posted this, people thought it was some kind of camera trick or I edited it. But look, take any glass and you're going to do this. You're going to bet someone which is longer. This length around here or this length down here. Now they're probably going to say this length. And if they do, just take something like your wallet, put it on the table and put it on top. And you can ask them again, which length? This length around here or this length down here, which is longer? Now this time they're probably going to say that length, but if they don't, just do this. Take something else. I'll take 2 packs of cards. I'm going to make it even bigger, just like this. You ask them one last time. This time you ask them to bet. They can bet a free drink, a tenner, or you can just do this for fun. But ask them which length's longer. This length around here or this length down here. And they're probably, most definitely, going to say this length. Now when they do, you're just going to do this. Take something like some tape, or you can use a bit of string, and you're going to do this. You're going to wrap it around the top, just like that. You're going to measure the length. So look, nothing funny is going on. And you really are going to measure it exact, just like this. When you've marked it, just rip it. You're going to take this bit off. Now this is all filmed in one take, so there's no editing. But look, put this on the table, take this, and look, when you put it next to it, look at that. The size difference is so much bigger. This is some crazy optical illusion and people freak out. And obviously you win the bet every time. Now if you thought that was cool and you want to learn more tricks, all you got to do is hit follow.
Oh, good people. That was very interesting, man. Thanks for watching up to this far, good vibe. People, you see, being made in the image and likeness of the Creator, I believe you are wonderful, strong, more than you think, man. You see, and if you're out there going through stuff or hardships of any way, just know you can enjoy, and you are more strong than you think. Then you are made, my friend, you are made of not necessarily hard material, but what has made you in the inside is harder than you can think. And you, my friend, you can hold on to whatever is coming your way, because good things are definitely coming your way. You see, those videos that has passed, they are interesting, good vibes, and they drag you to leave a comment. But sometimes I don't agree with everything that's always appearing in these videos. You take them and see how people live and react in different parts of the world, but don't agree with everything they say, I see, because people have different beliefs, and they believe in love, peace, and forgiveness. It's what we are all about here. Let's keep watching, man. Watch till the end and help spread this message. Big up to yourself, man. You are lovely and strong. Just keep watching. Hit the like button and the super thanks if possible. Oh.
This might be slightly controversial, but the Bible is actually the most powerful spell book there is. I said it, and I actually am not a Christian whatsoever. Did you know, hoodoo practitioners, I'm speaking to you, African American people, I'm speaking to you, that there are actually specific verses in the Bible, chapters, books that can actually help you to manifest your desires and put you in the best part of your life. I told you guys a little bit about Psalm 72 and how Psalm 72 is literally a cash-in verse. Literally read Psalm 72 3 times when you go to right before you go to bed in the morning. Put a $1 bill in the middle of it with just a little bit of money on it, and I'm telling you, manifestations are kiss, chef's kiss. Now, what if I told you that there's actually a verse in the Bible that can help you to manifest any and all of your desires? The verse you're going to be needing to look at is Philippians 4:13. The verse states, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, if you're like me and you're not very Christian, you can also use the word Christ to connect to love. With divine love, because that's what Christ energy is, I can do all things. And that is really literally the baseline of spirituality. Go ahead and read Philippians 4:13 right before you do your manifestation work, right before you do your dream journal, right before you do your vision board, and read it right after. Continue doing this for 30 days. And I'm telling you, something insane will happen.
Oh, you can surely do anything with Christ, man.
Oh my god!
We have two souls. All of us who love the good/God, same word, we have two souls. One is called the Param Atma and one is called the Jiva Atma. The Jiva Atma is your individual soul, and it is 1/100th, the breadth of a hair, divided again by another 1/100th. And that is the size of your soul, your jiva. Jiva means entity, living entity. And you have a jiva atma. Atma is an anagram for atom. Atom is the same word as Adam. Then we have the param atma, which is the super soul, which is 4 inches long. It's a Vishnu or a Jesus. Jesus is the super soul, and both of these souls are in your heart. Paramatma, which is about 4 inches high near your heart, and this one is what makes us different and special to these other service to self entities. They have destroyed this soul and detached themselves from this soul ages and eons ago, and they have infiltrated all the levels and branches of government and all of these gangs. These are controlled by demon entities, and they create further grandiose entities called egregores.
Oh, why would the people do that? And this is event here, people, all the people, they are forced around the youths. Ha! Oh my god. What type of drone is that?
Absolutely nowhere tells women that they have to cover up their bodies so that they don't cause men to stumble. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and every single time the Bible warns women about not being modest in their appearance, they clarify that it is about avoiding ostentatious displays of wealth, which is why the explanations always involve not having braided hair, not wearing gold jewelry, not wearing fancy clothes. Never once does it say they have to cover up certain parts of their bodies, or they have to wear certain things under the clothes that are already covering up their bodies. Now, the New Testament reflects a lot of outdated and harmful and patriarchal ideals associated with the Greco-Roman concept of the oikos, or the household. But even there, when it talks about women being respectable and modest, it is always about appearing respectable to the broader society so that Christians have a good reputation. And again, the clarifications always address displays of wealth. Not once does the Bible ever say women are required to cover up certain parts of their bodies, and not once does it say they are responsible for any lust that another man may feel for them. Jesus is actually quite clear on who is responsible for that when he says, if your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out. Now that's obviously hyperbole, but Jesus is quite clear about who is to blame for any lust that a man might feel and who is responsible for correcting it.
Do you believe that there should be a death penalty?
A death penalty?
Yes, for someone who commits a murder or something like that.
Aren't we all born to die? We're born with a death penalty.
In a gas chamber?
In a gas chamber. Well,
or by hanging, or by an electric chair.
I see what you're searching for.
Should there be a supreme penalty for committing a crime?
What do you think?
I'm the one who's asking you.
Yeah, but if I don't give you the answer that you want...
Doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter.
It's your opinion.
Well, I don't have the authority to say anything like that.
You have the authority to believe.
I believe what I'm told to believe. Don't you?
Oh, that's incredible, man. You see that video with the train that really does on my mind. And I wonder if train from other parts of the world can move that fast, even defeat a vehicle. Wow, that's incredible. You see, from this side of the world, the trains that we normally see, they really drag themselves, and you can run more than them. You see? Now I'm really surprised seeing such types of train. Anyway, it's incredible, man. People live differently all over this world. Much love to yourself, good people. If you've watched up to this far, you are a wonderful soul. Definitely. Hit the like button, the super thanks if possible. Leave a comment and keep it tuned for another 5 episodes that will be coming your way. Goodbye, man. Lots of love. Toodles.